You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Wednesday. Happy Humpback Day. I got some interesting exclusive video. Mike Breen going off on Anthony Moranti. What happened?
Freddie wins.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Vasquez.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I just got some video, crazy video of the a meeting between the Northern Westchester Republicans, where Anthony Moranti and Mike Breen are in a heated debate. Mike Breen loses it, going after not just Anthony Moranti, the councilman of the 6th District, but also Ron Matton. That's right, folks. But before I get into that, I want to just go over the flag raising today, the Jordanian flag raising in celebration in honor of Jordanian independence. We have a large Jordanian community that has probably gotten to know me very well. I haven't gotten to know every single one of y'all very well, but I have a lot of respect for you all the same. President. It was a very lively event. A lot of people were there. They really did it big. They had food, speakers. It was led by Assemblyman Nader Sage. Mayor Spano also spoke. Who else was there? David Tubiolo, James Nolan showed up there. Shanae Williams, who they forgot to mention her name. You see her face, like that, right? Tasha Diaz, who, the Jordanian community loves Tasha. They love them some Tasha. Boy, she got a lot. I mean, she could be the mayor. If it was this was Jordan, she would probably be the mayor. I mean, she got a bigger and louder applause than even the mayor did. And even Nader Sage. I mean, they really, love Tasha there. But anyway, it was dope. I want to say shout out to the Jordanian community. They came here. Many came here, obviously, to escape what was going on in the country at the time. So they really developed a vibrant, large, successful community, many becoming doctors, lawyers, and business owners, and have contributed greatly to the city of Yonkers, So shout out to the Jordanian community, much success to you folks, and you've had that success, right?
Tasha Diaz, the majority leader, Anthony Moranti.
Live, yeah. Mayor Sage, probably not that loud.
Very special message from a mayor that not only serves as a mayor, but truly serves as someone that truly promotes multiculturalism. This plaza, many of us have attended so many ethnic celebrations, cultural celebrations, flag raising for so many cultures that represent the diversity in the fabric of a city like Yonkers.
And that's the Jordanian flag. So again, shout out to the Jordanian community. Much respect to you folks. And listen, I was there today, and it's let's just be honest, right? Let's just the elephant in the room. A lot of the individuals that were there, I'm sure to have taken issue or take issue with me, probably hate my podcast, maybe even hate me. And not all, there were some people there that I know watch and like the show and support the podcast. And, but, the reality is, a lot of people have said this, that, Freddie, speaks the truth. I mean, I'm not 100% right, but, my average is about 98. Today I got 99%. So, that's the same area, sweet spot of, how right I am. And again, my goal is not to really offend or insult anybody. And, maybe people just don't understand my plight all the way, that maybe they want to go back and see what happened. I never wanted to have issues with anyone, at all. That's never who I was. I've never been someone who just has issues with people. If you go back, I was just a guy laying low and doing what I do, and running my business. My wife did what she did. And that was that. I didn't get involved necessarily in politics. I was mostly focused on national politics. But, I started this daycare center, and things kind of didn't go. Not that they didn't go my way, and I don't want people to think, oh, Freddie didn't get what he wanted. It's not. I never wanted anything special, and that's why you never see them post and say, oh, Freddie didn't get this specifically or that, because I never asked for any special treatment. All I said was that I don't want to just be messed with. It was very clear that somewhere, somehow, someone wanted to intentionally delay me and cause me more money. And it didn't help that a man by the name of Rui Ben Rose of the Yonkers Voice had told me, and again, I got this on recording, and I met with this man. He told me on two occasions, right, that elected officials wanted him to write a negative article to hurt my business. And that's exactly what has since happened. I mean, I've had CPS at my business. I've been accused of some crazy things, multiple CPS reports. And, and so that's where, maybe I had gotten a little upset and got some emotionally, a lot upset, but emotional. And, I responded. I'm a human being, right? Just like other people, you're human beings. And, and sometimes you may have, done things or reacted in ways. And I'm not saying that I'm wrong necessarily, but maybe about going about some of the things I've done maybe wasn't always the best way, but there was a reason for it, right? And so, I say that to say that, I'm not looking to have any issues with people. My goal is not to, criticize or ridicule anyone, right? And for the most part, what I've really tried to do is bring awareness to politics here in the city of Yonkers, but I've had some issues with that. And my wife is having some issues with that currently. And, again, she doesn't ask me to speak about this at all, nothing. She just, talks to me about her day because she needs to have someone to talk to. It's been very difficult for her, at work, and she loves what she does. And, it's a shame that, these are the things that are happening, and that individuals, would really stoop to these levels, right? And focus more on, the political nonsense that shouldn't be, in our school at all. It shouldn't be in our school buildings. Nothing there should be political, right? But it is, and that people are more focused on that than the actual kids, and what's best for the kids, and it's gotten to the point where, kids see this, they're noticing it, right? They see, and I've worked in schools, so I know how it is and how adults can be really, you would think that they'd be more professional at times, but no. And kids see sometimes the problems between these staff members, right? And I've experienced this myself in working in schools. And so they're starting to see this tension, right? And they are actually saying to my wife, sorry, that we see this, like, and so my wife isn't saying anything to anybody. And so the fact that kids are picking up on the students, and they shouldn't, it says something, right? It says a lot, and then, my wife hears this, but she just says, no, I don't know, it's just, whatever, I don't know. And so, but they're like, miss, we the only one that we could talk to. And this is what they say to her, we love you, we need you here. And that's what's important. And that's what's important. And the problem is that because I guess maybe it's like a family, it's such a small community, really, even though we're the third largest city in the state, that, it gets kind of, you have this kind of bochinche, and as they say in Spanish, is gossiping, and this favoritism, and this is my friend, and I'm gonna hook him up, and I'm gonna do this, and then, and people feel entitled almost because people, they've been in the city, or their families have been rooted in the city for so long, so there is a sense of entitlement, and maybe it's not intentional, right? But there is, and maybe any outsiders, maybe like my wife or me coming in and then disrupting the system has really, probably caused a lot of issues for people. And so, again, my goal is not to have problems with anybody, but we need to do the right thing. We need to do the right thing as people, and and let's leave the politics out of the schools. There's a lot going on there that I've been informed on, and so some of these teachers actually need to be investigated, for big deal things that are big deals, sexual inappropriate behavior, things that teachers are doing, like allowing students to look in their phones, and the students are seeing their private parts, right? And so, again, targeting my wife and, for petty stuff is not gonna, end this, right? It's only gonna, say, okay, well, gonna motivate, Freddie Vasquez to, talk more about the information that I have, when that's not what I'm looking to do. What I'm looking to do is talk about politics, at least bring awareness to people. But, this is how some people operate. And some people are actually liars. They're willing to blatantly lie. And it's sad because, I've been emailed by people, former staff members, actually, Black African-American staff members who were fired just before their probationary periods were over. And they've told me that there seems to be this, thing about firing, the Black staff. And I'm not making this up, because I don't want to share the emails, but if I ever had to say, okay, well, in court, prove that that's what was said. Yeah, here you go. That's what was said. And not to give up my source, because it would just be a screenshot of what was emailed to me, because I'm not giving up sources. I don't care. But, this is what's being told. And it's not coming from my wife, because she doesn't give me any information. Any information that I talk about in regards to schools or teachers with sexual inappropriate stuff, that's people emailing me. That's parents. That's other staff members. So, that's what, I talk about with my wife and what she's going through specifically because I want people to know what's happening. And that's a part of this retaliatory, firing or, this retaliation that people receive at work because either they themselves or maybe their husband or wife may speak truth. And people don't like that. And so they gang up, right? Because there's a lot of them. And they'll gang up and they'll, lie and state things that are not true. But you got to watch because you never know who's watching, listening, and recording. And so if you say one thing 1 minute and then you're going to say another thing the next minute and it's not going to match up, right? That's not going to be good for you. That's all I'm saying. So you want to try to be as truthful as possible, especially if you're an educator, right? I'm just saying that's what we teach our kids. Right? And so today at the meeting, the budget meeting, they spoke about this education and the need for more staff members, the need for more money so we can hire staff, specifically social workers, right? And people who can understand the effects of the pandemic, special needs, children working with special needs, which is what my wife does. She's an administrator. She's an assistant principal in Roosevelt Special Needs School Department, which is the largest. Parents love her, parents who have to meet with her as their children who may be special needs are transitioning into high school. They want to meet with them beforehand, kind of show them what it's all about, being in high school and all that. And, and she's gotten nothing but great things. Thank you. You've made me feel so much better, and people are willing to go to bat. Maybe not some of the, people, but again, so I'm not looking to have any issues with people. It's just that, people got to stop having issues with me because, again, I never started this war. And I said that Mr. Brian and Mr. Ruros are the ones that continue. And I don't know who's paying them to do that. But maybe you should speak to those people. Those are the issues. Those are the problems you guys have, not me.
What for? 40 South Broadway, Yonkers, New York.
This is
Council to Noble Gurian and just budget reflect.
This is a woman who came here. She says she's coming on behalf of her children who are in the Yonkers public schools. And she just moved to Yonkers. Well, not just moved, but she's been living in Yonkers for 2 years now. She came from the city.
Next speaker is
and
Zanab Fernandez.
she wants more money for the schools. She doesn't want to see any cuts happen.
I'm here to represent my children who attend Westchester Hills School 29. I'm asking that the council do not cut funds for the schools. The schools are already underfunded. My children are bused to school and they don't even have bus monitors on the bus. They're limited also with after school programs. I'm new to Yonkers. I've been living here for about 2 years. I'm from the city. And one of the reasons why people were telling me not to move to Yonkers is because of the underfunding of the schools here. So I'm just asking that the council reconsider cutting any funds. Actually, there needs to be an increase in funding to the schools here. Thank you.
She says she was told, one of the reasons she was told not to move to Yonkers was because of the lack of funding to the schools, the quality of the schools. And so that's something that's important. I've been saying that. If you want to attract, good people, good families to the city of Yonkers with building, we need good schools.
All down. And this fountain, my other people outside of my fountain family call themselves Fontaine, but
This is Margaret Fountain Coleman, Reverend Margaret Fountain Coleman, not Fonte as she was called, and she corrected the gentleman there. She's running for mayoral candidate Reverend Margaret Fountain Coleman.
So good evening. I just want to say again, just listening to the budget and going through it and just analyzing. As you know, I'm an educator by trade. So as the parent just spoke, one of the issues that I was just kind of just trying to navigate and work through in my head, but after hearing Council President and the presentation earlier tonight, that the $32 million gap that we would be experiencing is going to be fulfilled, hopefully, if the budget passed through the other means coming this Friday. But one of the things I do want to express that contracts have not been negotiated or completed with YFT, with CSEA, with others, and just to make sure that we're taking a hard look at where those funds are going to be coming from in order to satisfy what is needed here in the city of Yonkers. I'm not speaking on behalf of YFT, but I am a YFT member. Another issue that we want to continue to have in the forefront is that by having the COVID relief funding, realizing that a lot of staff was hired during our post-pandemic experience, and how are we going to satisfy that and to increase personnel within the school system. Most of the schools are shared time with the psychologist, social worker. They're shared time, meaning that psychologists, social workers work in one school part of the week and then another school. Our school system, due to its large quantity of children with social emotional needs, need full-time staffing within their schools each and every day. Not to mention music and art and those types of things, but those personnel persons are necessary in order to enhance the social emotional learning for our children and to be a conduit for.
So, she's saying there that, we had the pandemic COVID relief funds, and that was a one-time injection, right? We spoke about this, and the comptroller saying, you have to stop adding reoccurring expenses with non-reoccurring, revenue, one-shot deals. But we needed those teachers, the social workers, counselors that were hired, and we still need more. There's still a shortage of staff, and there's been a 10-year low in people coming out of college with degrees in education and wanting to go into education. So staffing is low, but I think that's really all over in every industry at this point. But they're saying we need more staff actually, and so she said she's glad that they were able to cover the $32 million deficit, or hopefully that's what they said they'll be able to do. But we definitely need more money. We need more staff. We need more social workers, counselors. We need more administrators actually. Some school administrators, right? And we need more. And so we have to make sure that we are funding the schools properly. That's so important. That's always what I wanted. And so again, if they ever recorded me saying anything that I wanted from them, it would be that I wanted to help in any way possible improve our school district. That was it. That was it. That was it.
For families here in the city. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Thanks, Mike. Good evening, everybody. Mike Soriello, Yonkers Federation of Teachers. I serve on the Federation's executive board, and no need to introduce any further. Thank you all for being here tonight and having this important public session. I know that the budget is a solid budget. I would just simply reiterate, we stand for class size limits, lower class size limits. We would like to see class sizes go down on the elementary and secondary levels. It's something that parents support. It's something that teachers know works. Smaller class sizes means children learn better. They have better attention one-on-one time. This district also desperately needs to hire more psychiatrists, social workers, special needs areas. The ratios are way too high to serve the children that we need, especially so many that are in the situations that they're in, high needs situations, economic needs situations. So we stand for that as well. I'm not going to reiterate what the previous speaker said about social emotional welfare. We all know that that's an issue. We all know that we're coming out of the pandemic, we're coming out of COVID, and there's been regression. It's happening. We're not the only district. It's happening all over the state and in fact all over the country. So any budget needs to recognize these realities. The spending priorities need to be there. Also, we have a crisis in this state where we have nobody. The levels of people coming into the profession out of grad school are at the lowest levels in decades. And that needs to be addressed. And the way to address that first and foremost is that the district needs to settle its labor contract with the Yonkers Federation of Teachers, because that will, that contract, keeping in mind the realities of the most experienced teachers need to stick around longer, and we need to be able to attract the best and the brightest out of grad school.
So again, you know, he's the representative UFT. I don't know if he said he was the president, but he's talking about the contracts. There's still no contract for the teachers. CSEA 9169, and he mentioned another one maybe there. So there's still the need for the contracts that they're waiting to settle those. And again, this is how it kind of goes through the election cycles, right? They drag these contracts out, and I always think that they do this for the endorsement, right? You endorse us and then we'll do the contract settlement and stuff like that. But, a lot of CSEA members reached out to me, since I've been doing basement politics, and, no disrespect to Alberto. See, again, and I want to, I like to have real conversations, right? I don't like to be fake. So if this is what's on my mind, we should be able to talk about it without you getting offended, right? And so people have come to me. I mean, they've stopped me literally in the street to say, yo, where's Alberto? I'm saying, I don't know, right? And so I was messing with him for a time. The Alberto Velasquez is the president of CSCA, and he was in Florida a lot, of Puerto Rico. I said, yo, your people are looking for you, dude, and you out here, sunbathing and stuff. Come on. And so, that rubbed him the wrong way, obviously, right? But I mean, it's the truth, though. And I care about the lady that's waiting for the bus. That's a CSCA member. She's older. She's still working, taking a bus, and she's like, I want my retro check. I need that, right? I mean, that you don't feel bad? Like if you're in Miami or you're in Puerto Rico, right, surfing, right, and this lady is waiting for the bus in Getty Square, and then she's saying to me that, Freddie, where's Alberto? I'm waiting for a contract, the CSC, the retro check. What's up? Where's our checks? I need that money, right? That doesn't make you feel bad. Like that would make me feel bad. Like I would be like, damn, gotta get these people their checks, man. I would. That would make me feel bad. I couldn't be in Puerto Rico, sipping coconut water. You know what I mean? So that's all I mean. And then so I spoke with Alberto today. He did see me. He likes to, you like to crack jokes, and I take it. You called me the mayor. He called me the mayor. I know he was being sarcastic. Hey, Mr. Mayor, are you gonna be the mayor? I said, maybe if you were help me get the Hispanics to vote for me, right? And all your CSCA members, but that's not what you're doing, Alberto. It's not what you're doing. But anyway, I did speak to him about why I do this, in all seriousness. I'm here to, bring awareness, and just educate the people and inform the people and get them more involved in our community. Because if not, then, of course, you're going to have a certain group that's going to dominate, and they're going to, be having all the, whatever, the spoils and the benefits and the plunder that comes with, being in control of the government and everything in politics here, right? So, it's no diss to Alberto, nothing like that, but, I just be keeping it real. That's just how I am. So I'm a type of guy, you either like me or you don't, because I'm just honest, and maybe to a fault, maybe that's not always the best thing to do, but it's just who I am, and at least you know who you get with me. So again, I'm not looking to beef with any of the people that were out there. I know they get some looks. Shout out to you, Tony Margie, man. I appreciate you, being able to come on my live and say 4 more years. Listen, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Don't be ashamed to say it, so I respect that. And I said, hello, like, hey, what's up, Tony? Like, there's no beef, right? The looks, it's none of that, man. Like, we could actually all work together and do great things, right? Don't we want to do great things? Don't we want to do good things for people and in the community that we live in? Don't we want to do that? I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, right? I don't know. So, that's really all. You guys are, large, very successful, I'm a great community, the Arabic community. You guys, there should be no, division, but I know it happens. And so from what I was hearing, there's a lot more members of the Arabic community that did not attend because of, some division that's there. Hopefully you guys will work that out, and I think you will. I have faith. My Nostradamus senses are tingling, and I think that you guys will work that out, right? And that's just what I believe in. I'm Freddie Vasquez, aka Nostradamus. Let's get to the fun part now. This is crazy. And they call me unstable and unhinged. I like to think that I'm a lot more stable than Mike Breen. I mean, maybe that's where his son gets it from, right? Where he thinks it's funny to speed past someone real close as if he's going to hit them with his SUV, right? Maybe these are things that we should think about and consider. Are they unhinged? Mike Breen goes off on Ron Matten and Anthony Moranti in public at a meeting of the Northern Republican Alliance, right? I've been talking about the Northern Democratic Alliance. Now here we go with the Northern Republican Alliance. This is why people are tired of the parties. They were having their meeting. I don't know what they're meeting about specifically, but Moranti called out Mike Breen. He didn't like that Mike Breen was not communicating with him. He was not letting them know about events, ribbon cuttings, meetings of, important ones like the districting meeting, the redistricting meeting, term limit meetings, and other important meetings that Mike Breen was privy to, but not Anthony Moranti, which I don't understand. Shouldn't all the council members get a notice about these meetings? Why would any one council member be left out? Doesn't that make sense? I don't know. Somebody could maybe explain that. But apparently, Anthony Moranti is being left out. And that's what happens when you decide to run for mayor. Anthony, you know this would occur, but it shouldn't be happening. But you knew it would happen, right? Well, today he called out Mike Breen, and Mike Breen lost it, cursing at the two men in public. Let's go to the tape. Yo, Mike Breen. Not nice, man.
This has been for a year. Don't ask me any questions. Does anybody else have a question? I'm a constituent, Mike. Does anybody else have a question? Wow. When you tell me I'm going to jail, you're not a constituent, you're an idiot. So, does anyone else have a question? Yeah.
So apparently, Mike Breen, I guess he asked people, or this was the question session or the question portion of the night, and Ron Matten raises his hand, and Mike Breen says, you say I should go to jail. You're an idiot. So he called Ron Matten an idiot because I guess Ron Matten has mentioned that Mike Breen should be in jail. And so he called him an idiot. But he cursed at Anthony Moranti. I think this is really, Anthony was the one that had him fired up.
Has not said anything to me about that's my Breen. Minority leader has not said anything to me about
like the redistricting.
Then maybe I'll talk to you. But a lot of you put out my family. They don't talk to you. You got to roll to my payroll, and you said you have no family on the payroll. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. You are a liar. You have a family on the payroll.
Try your office at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So someone had to come in and say this for the office at 9 a.m., folks. This is public restaurant. People are trying to have their dinner. Can't have the Republicans cursing at each other. He called them an effing liar. Moranti saying that you're not communicating with me, you're leaving me out of things. And that upset Mike Breen. And he called him an effing liar and continued to call him a liar. But I don't think he's lying. There have been events that Moranti has been absent from, and he's stated in meetings that he has been left out of, these important meetings like the redistricting meeting, and was not aware of information and was often being made aware of it at the last possible minute. Mike Breen has been accused of being a Spano loyalist, not a true Republican, not a Democrat either, but a Spanocrat. Mike Breen is just trying to get in where he fits in. And if anyone tries to mess that up, you see what happens. He becomes unhinged. It's good to see folks for who they really are. And I hope Brian talks about the mentally unstable, unhinged council member out of the 5th District. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. you want to watch the video again, it's on my page. Shout out again to the Jordanian community, to all the people that were there, that know me, that I know. Is peace still a possibility? I like to think so. You got to give peace a chance. And I mean that, right? I do. I really would like to have peace, but I'm not going to kiss ass. No. Just kidding. No, seriously, though, folks. Peace, man. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. This is Basement Politics. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. Shout out to all the people that watch Basement Politics throughout the country, because it's not just in Yonkers, New York. Basement Politics has viewers all over the United States, as well as several countries. That's right. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And the show continues to grow. The support continues to grow. And again, you know, I hope that one day we all could be peace with each other, all of us. You know, I didn't see the caters at this Jordanian flag raising. And, you know, and I heard about this a couple of years back when they started doing it, that Mike Cater actually was the one that, you know, I don't want to throw nothing in there. I'm just saying, but I heard that he was the one that, you know, came up with this idea. And then they kind of left him out of it and then did it on, you know, you got to move quick. Should have got the flag out there and waited and said, come on, join me. I'm here with the flag. But, you know, so, but it's a good event. You know, they do that for a lot of different ethnicities or nationalities, I should say. So, yeah, you know, but that one was popping. That one had the most people I've seen. So shout out to the Jordanian community. Much respect to you folks. You know, I really mean that. And if anyone's ever been offended by what I've said, you know, whether I intentionally meant to do it or unintentionally did it, I apologize, because truly, ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not looking to insult, disrespect anyone. I'm just looking not to be fucked with. You get that? Get that?
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Listen.
Freddie wins.
My baby.
Fatality.
Better be squeaky clean.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics, and none of that shit's gonna get me scared. Fire. Stay home with me and imagine the duel that will be on this Basement Politics. Husband and wife team. Oh shit, we should do that. Honey, quick! I want you to join me on the show. Honey, babe,
Freddie.
you still up?
Fatality.
I was raised in housing.
Freddie wins.
I was raised in housing.
Freddie wins. Fatality. Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!